Hey everyone, Nick here, looking at Disney The House of Mouse, the happiest place on earth, although it's deserted now, so it's no longer the happiest, it's the quietest place on earth. Okay, so the earnings are out, and to nobody's surprise, they sucked. And I have been talking about it. I did a couple of videos where I mentioned it going into the earnings. This is a crowd economy, and those stocks may be facing new normals going forward. I hope not. I hope the governments don't go out and say, you can't do this, you can't sell more than X percent of the tickets, you can't, whatever you used to let inside your parks, you have to only let 25%. I'm speculating. I hope they don't do any of this. This should not change our daily lives forever. I hope to God it doesn't happen. So anyway, but there's that chance. Politicians are idiots in my book, or they speak like idiots, I should say. I'm sure they're not idiots, but they do amaze me sometimes and amaze everybody. So back to the Disney report. To no shock, the numbers are hideous, and the bottom line was hit by about $1.4 billion. The bottom line, the hit to the bottom line, that's big, right? And a lot of the problems lied in the parks because they're empty. But here's my bigger problem going forward. I usually say buy the dip, buy the dip. The dip is only like 2% after hours, which is mind-boggling. So it's about 98, 99, right? So this does not show after hour. I wonder why not. But anyway, so it's right here, which was where I have that green line, which I said would trigger then a fall to here. So that alone tells me, okay, maybe I don't want to immediately buy the dip because it could fall to here. Depends on what happens tomorrow. Today is Tuesday, the evening of the report. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and then we have the ADP and then the jobs report on Friday. So a lot can happen badly for it in the extrinsic factors. So it needs to hold 98 or face this potential, which is another good buy the dip place in my book. But then it opens the door for this possibility. And given the new normal and people out shorting it publicly, tells me that they might have something to say. And look at this. If this happens, then we're talking about a completely different ballgame. Then I'm not going to even talk about it, technically. And if you think about it, A, B, C, but the numbers don't make sense, right? Anything below 75, is it possible? Everything's possible. We don't know what the new normal is going to be for Disney. This video is not about that. This video is about one level at a time. The first battle is 98. Hold it. Or you risk 90. 92, 90. Lose that, you risk the COVID low. So why would the COVID low come back? Theoretically speaking, my problem is, okay, the COVID problem showed up, halfway through the quarter? So this 1.4 hit is part quarter. So they had normal almost part and then hit by COVID. So it's not a full quarter effect of COVID. And the bigger problem is the bleeding hasn't stopped. The parks are still closed. How long will they still be closed? What if COVID hits another snag and extends itself? So the problem is going to extend into next quarter. So will the next quarter be 1.4 billion down on the net? I'm not sure. They withheld dividends. That tells me they're worried. That's good that they're acting ahead of time instead of being too proud to withhold dividend. They're taking the lumps, and only down 2% is really good news. Surprising, but really good news. So I'm speaking a lot in terms of general and technical. I'm blending the two. That's what I do. I'm Main Street. I did not grow up on Wall Street. I learned the stuff on my own. So let me take all the lines out. Actually, let me put them back just to see the levels. Okay, see this level here, this little rectangle from way back then? It's still in play now. If I extend it, it's going to go right into where it is right now. So this is not a coincidence. Has it had below action? Yes, it has. The COVID one is lowest. I'm going to go to monthly. So now we zoom out to years and years and years. Let's take all the lines out. COVID low, whatever that was, 2014. Is that the flash crash? October? Yeah, I think so. That was a good time to go in, right? They tested it kind of a couple of times, but now clearly they've gone back to levels that they haven't visited in a long time. So it's not that crazy that it steps back six years. Okay, so let me show you another chart. Now bear with me. It's one bad burrito. What? Yes, hang on. Up here, everybody loved Chipotle. Why? Because it was turning comps like you wouldn't believe. Its strength was comps, turning comps, crowds. And then it had one bad burrito, basically. It had bad food that caused this. It took it, what, 2 years to come back? And now it has great comps again. The stock is rallying. So I'm okay with it rallying when it got back the ace in the pocket. Comps, crowds. Disney, is it that moment that is going to cause it to be at a disadvantage for a while? That's my concern. I love the company. I love buying dips in it. It has been delivering profits for a super long time. From a level perspective, if you lose this level, technically you should go much lower. Hold on, let me check something else. Okay, so back to 15 minutes. Okay, this is perfect. So now it shows. Gosh dang it. Sorry, it's been a long day. So 15-minute chart. Let me see if I can show it on the 30-minute. Okay, 30-minute chart. It's even better. 60-minute. I'm getting there. 30-minute better. Okay, so 30-minute chart. Watch this. You've heard of Head and Shoulders, right? And it's a bearish pattern. Cover up the name. Something like this. You get a bunch of bumps. You get a huge rally. You get another rally that fails miserably. And now it's like here. So clearly this triggered, where you draw it. In theory, this should be the size of the move. So I would not be surprised to see, what would that be? 91, 92? Actually more than this. So let's measure it. I don't want to scare anybody. I'm not calling for this downside. I'm just telling you, if you take the name out and just do rely on the charts. Okay, so we're going to call it 91, 92. So it's not that crazy. I'm going to delete it. So it's not that crazy to get there. And the way I usually would draw it is this. When it loses the level, it's going to try to hold the first line I told you about. If it fails, it's going to try to finish the job here. If that fails, it's going to finish the job there, this green one. All right, so this would be the path on the worst case scenario. The good news, let me start with some good news. Add some good news. The fact that it's only down 2% after hours tells me it has a chance of not developing like this. 2% down on terrible news is a win for the longs. So I love the company, so don't come at me like, oh my gosh, you're such an alarmist, whatever. I'm sharing the levels. I'm trying to be as honest with the levels as possible. I added a sprinkle of fundamentals. So as a company, the ace in the hole was crowds, and that is gone. The question is for how long? I'm amazed to hear the experts say, oh, we got to change the way like the Shake Shack guy today said he wants to take my temperature maybe at the front door of his store. Not that we have any Shake Shacks here, but if they did, I would flip him off and go walk across the street into some other store. There is no way I'm going to let the store check my temperature to see if I'm worthy of walking into his store. So, if you want that, put a robot outside that would serve me. Otherwise, it's an intrusion. Not that it's just an intrusion. It's not logical. The same problem happens with airlines. Are they going to do that to airlines? So if a family is traveling, one of them runs hot, the whole vacation is ruined? You can't leave kids behind. One parent can't take care of 2 kids or 3 kids or 1 kid and leave one behind. What if it's overseas? Who's going to pay for the lost ticket revenue, the lost booking that is gone? You rob me of a full day if it's a place where there's only 1 flight a day. There are complications, so hopefully they don't do that. But Disney is open to all of that, and that's my concern. So fundamentally, good company. I hope the fundamentals don't change. I hope this is a blip. And even then, it's going to be a 2-quarter blip. That's my reason. So takeaway, trading-wise, if it holds 98, then I could start thinking about buying the dip. If it doesn't, then I wouldn't be a hero because you're going to have lower chances. So for me, I'm not buying the dip at the open tomorrow if there's a dip. I would buy a rally. What? Yes, I would buy a rally above 112.5 because that would bring this area. I can't imagine why you would do that, but that would be it. Even a little mini rally at 105 and change, that would also bring buyers. But now that it fell below them, this whole bunch is resistance. Okay, so this is the plan. Buying the dip might be too soon. I would wait to see how the day develops, especially with the NFP coming. Wait to see if it holds level 1, and if it doesn't hold level 1, maybe consider at level 2. But even then, you would be much better place at level 2, but which is the COVID low. But even then, the COVID low may not be a low if the reality going forward changes for Disney. So they talked about Disney Plus as the bright spot, but they also said that it's in spending mode. So here's, if I was a CEO of Disney, I would have to think about something. Okay, now I have to bump up my pricing or add another level. Disney Plus, Disney Plus Plus. Why? Because then I would add it to be like $20 a month and open it up to all the new releases as far as movies. If the theaters are hampered, why not be my own theater? Everybody wants to stream the movies live as soon as they hit, right? You'd pay extra for that. Heck, I will. I don't stream anything. I don't pay for any streaming except for YouTube TV. But if Disney tells me, hey, for $20 a month, and if I have kids, and you can see all my movies that hit the theaters live right now in your own living room, sold. Because if somebody has a family, 3 people at the movies, what is that? $70, $100 with snacks, $20 a month. You pay for that. So they would have to change their model completely. But that takes months and months to steer. All right, this is longer than I wanted. Anyway,